It is now time for Ask the Expert. Obesity is a huge problem in the U.S. 66% of Americans either overweight or obese.
That, of course, can lead to an increased risk for diabetes, heart disease, cancer. Unfortunately, losing weight is difficult for a lot of people. Registered dietitian Laurie Meyer joins us now. She always walks us through the steps with good advice. Why is it so difficult for people?
Well, why isn't it? I mean, it's
because food's everywhere.
Food is everywhere you go, and
right.
you know you can't really drive anywhere without having some encounter with food. And food tastes good, and it makes you feel good when you eat it. And if you're feeling bad, you eat something. It's like, oh, it picks you up a little bit. Even though it's temporary, it still picks you up. And so that's the problem: is that food is so available, it's inexpensive relatively compared to other things, and you know it's accessible. It's and we love it.
And you have a list now.
There are some things that you can do, and I'm going to stick strictly with diet because there's a lot of things. You have to look at emotional, there can be medical and hormonal reasons.
Right.
But when we look at food, there are 4 things that I think that if we all did this, it at least would make it a little bit easier. The first is eat breakfast, and you hear this all the time. We just aren't doing it. I think it's at least
half. It doesn't have to be a lot.
At least half of the population does not eat breakfast. At least half. Get more protein. And you don't have to follow an Atkins diet, although for some people that actually works, but eat more protein, get more fiber, and stay hydrated. You got to get the fluids in. Very, very important.
So why is it so important to eat that breakfast?
Well, you know, you're breaking the fast, obviously, but when we eat breakfast, we actually get a boost in our metabolic rate. We're going to increase metabolism, and research shows that if you eat breakfast, you tend to eat less later in the day, and night eating is the problem that a lot of people have. So by getting that fuel early in the day, you kind of fuel your engine, and you burn more calories, and you're going to end up losing more weight. Protein is better at breakfast than carbs, though. Is what they're finding.
You've said in the past, if you're in a hurry, just a couple of hard-boiled eggs.
Hard-boiled eggs would be good. You know, a piece of leftover chicken, some cheese, Greek yogurt. Any of those things would be great.
So you mentioned protein. Why is protein so important?
Well,
and how much do we need?
Because it stimulates metabolism. It takes more calories for your body to burn protein than it does for carbs or fat. And so you're going to actually burn calories when you eat protein. And it makes you feel full for much longer. Carbohydrate, you might get a half an hour. Protein, you can get several hours of satiety. For people, it's an individual thing, but at least 1 ounce per meal or snack, and maybe up to 4 ounces or more, depending on how much you exercise and what your body weight is.
Last 30 seconds here, I imagine these are some do's and don'ts.
Well, what I have is the typical breakfast people are eating is that bagel. Now, that bagel is almost 80 grams of carbohydrate. That's way too much carbohydrate for people. If you want to have a carb, eat some oatmeal. Now, this one, I happen to actually put some peanut butter in it so that you're actually getting a little bit of protein, but oatmeal is a great fiber source.
You can put fruit in it.
The other thing I have is egg. Make a frittata of vegetables and eggs. Have some today, have some tomorrow. You don't have to cook every single day. Put it in the refrigerator. And then I just have 2 sandwiches. Here's one on white bread with no vegetables. Here's one on rye. Rye bread tends to have lower glycemic, higher in fiber. Has sprouts, it has spinach. So, you know, you can get your vegetables and your fiber in that way, and your protein.
There's your eating guide.
We are out of time, but drink water as well.
And drink water, absolutely.
Laurie, thank you. Got a question for our experts? Email them at asktheexpert@today'stmj4.com. You can also leave a voicemail. Number to call, 967-5253.